When you think of the closest Rainbow Six Siege match of all time, what comes to mind? Maybe you think of a match where a few pixels or a few milliseconds could have made the difference.
Virtue's got to do it all by himself here if he wants to keep this one going. He finds one, picking off Ren Sheriff from above, but he has got work to do. Can he see the man go for the plan? He sees the feet, he sprays, he puts it down!
Maybe you think of a match where the deciding round comes down to a pure, unadulterated 1 versus 1.
It's a 1 versus 1 Rin. It's all now. It's now or never. They see the angle. Souls holding it down. He's got to push it, but Souls finds it.
Maybe you think of a match where the stakes are at their absolute highest and it comes down to one last round.
They find the down as well. Yesterday they took the crown from LA. Today they take their kingdom from Latam. Major champion.
Or maybe you think of a match where the victor wins multiple maps off the back of insane clutches.
He needs to pop up. Iconic softened up. Oh, will need to clutch. He's flattened 2 and all, and he gets all of them. Holy shit! 1v1. Leon Gids to save his team, but Astral is accomplishing. They get it done at the final moment.
Well, I believe just a few days ago we witnessed the closest match this game has ever or likely will ever see. Of course, I'm talking about Sonix versus Dark Zero in the NA 2024 Stage 2 Championship match. While the match didn't come down to an exciting last-minute clutch like in a lot of the clips I showed you, it is simply, by the numbers, the closest match this game has ever seen. Right now you're looking at the matches that came the closest. I scoured the history of this game, and I was only able to find 11 instances of matches that had 2 overtime maps and 1 max regulation map. And even more rare were matches with all 3 maps going to overtime. Before the Sonix versus Dark Zero match in question, it had only happened twice. Secret versus Dark Zero in the 6 Invitational 2023 group stage, and Fluxo versus FaZe in the Esports World Cup 2024 Brazilian qualifier. This 45 round triple max overtime match between Sonix and Dark Zero was not only incredibly close, but it was also an incredible match in general. First, let's talk about the closeness of the match, and then we'll talk about the other factors. The biggest and most obvious reason this match was so close was every single round being played for the very first time. This means that not only were the two teams separated by only 1 round in the match, but they were also only separated by a single round in each individual map. In one of the matches I showed earlier, FaZe versus Damwon, FaZe did only win 1 more round in the match than Damwon did, but the first 2 maps were both 7-3. That does mean that the two teams were neck and neck across those 2 maps, but the first 2 maps individually were not close. Now let's talk about the plethora of other factors that made this such a fantastic match. Number 1, the two teams were playing to be crowned the kings of the region as well as playing for over $30,000 US. Number 2, basically since Sonix became a relevant force in Siege, these two orgs have been rivals. Number 3, there were some of the biggest names in the game playing in this match like Canadian and Bolo. Number 4, and this is arguably the biggest factor, there was some bad blood between Canadian and Dark Zero, with him being recently dropped from the team, which led to him joining Sonix. And number 5, which is the other arguably biggest factor, Ambi tied the best of 3 kill record in this match with 55 kills. Pambazoo was 1 shy of also tying the record, and the very final kill of this match solidified this, with Ambi winning his gunfight against Panva. And really the list doesn't end there. There are a number of other small things that made this such a great match. The team that won the first round in overtime lost each map, so the victor always had their backs against the wall for the last 2 rounds, and for much of the match, Sonix were on the back foot, but they managed to pull it off in the end, and on the final map, Sonix saved their timeout for before the very last round, which is pretty rare, and the tightness of this match is made even more stark by the fact that when these two teams played in the round robin portion of the stage, Sonix smoked Dark Zero, and that was the last time Dark Zero had lost a game, meaning their otherwise flawless stage was bookended by their only 2 losses, both to Sonix. Pure cinema. I'll leave you with the concluding moments of the match, but you should absolutely go back and watch this piece of Siege history in its entirety. Link in the description.
It's gonna come down to the wire. Dark Zero still wins it. You've got to be shitting me.
For somebody to step 1 foot wrong and then be put to bed, they keep pushing all the way up to the wall. The plant is being confirmed. Nafe on the back line. There's no response until Surf hits it from deep. Surf gets 2. A single player, it's Pamba with no health, and Abby, he ties it up. I don't know if it's fully fact checked. I don't know how he ended.
Until next time.